Good morning. My name is Dr. Lynn Migdal, and I want to introduce myself as a flow addict. And I'm hopeful that after this presentation, you're going to be a flow addict too. I wasn't into flow my whole life. Matter of fact, my life was very tense and contracted. I was sick for most of my childhood, taken to doctors all the time, put on antibiotics maybe 3, 4 times a year for bronchitis. I was x-rayed as they were looking for pneumonia to give me more medication, and I never knew that there was anything special inside me. So this morning, I would like to introduce the magic that lives within. And once you get in touch with the magic that lives within, you will understand that you are limitless. I'm a central nervous system flow doctor, a natural neurologist, better known as a doctor of chiropractic. Chiropractic school was my awakening to this doctor that lives within inside me. So today I would like to wake up the sleeping doctor that lives inside all of us. We have specialness, and no one maybe ever told you that. So I'm glad that you push that button and you're on the Natural Living app. You're in the right place because I'm going to show you your anatomy. I'm going to show you what's inside you, and then you make up your mind, because I'm not making up this anatomy and physiology of the body. Chiropractors learn from medical textbooks. We go to school for 5.5 years. We then decide to use our hands on the nervous system to help it flow. Flow addict. I'm a nerve flow addict. Okay. I want you to be. And what we turn on is the magic that's within, but we're not the magician. You are. And you have miracles waiting to happen. In chiropractic school, when I first saw these pictures that you're going to be looking at right now, the one on the left is a picture of the autonomic nervous system, which shows the spine, shows that the nervous system comes down from the brain. I mean, no one had to convince you that your brain was important. No one had to tell you that if you hit your skull, maybe your brain's not going to function. So we're talking about chiropractors are very simple folk. We're just very simple, that if the nervous system is flowing, you're going to heal yourself from inside out. And the proof is in the picture. So when you study anatomy, which I want you to do, and I invite you to look up the autonomic nervous system and look closely at this chart, because the brain controls everything that is going on in the entire body. The job of the chiropractor is connect the brain to the cell. In order for the brain to connect to the cell and organs and systems, it must travel down the spinal cord. And then it has different areas and places for it to come out, and it feeds every single organ. So I had a lot of pressure in my upper back and neck. They gave me aspirins. My body tried to run a fever for bronchitis, but it was always slowed down and cooled off. And by the way, fever is not dangerous unless the child is running dehydration and low blood sugar at the same time. So there's a lot of unknown facts that are out there. So if you could just take some mental dental floss right now and stick it in one ear and stick it in the other and try to clean everything out, because I'm presenting right now what's inside you. The body wants to run a fever when a child is sick because that's how it kills bacteria and viruses. If you are dehydrated or in low blood sugar, you will have seizures. You will have brain damage. But if you're eating and drinking and have a fever, you're helping the body to heal itself. So the nerves that come out of the neck are the most important because it's closest to the brain. So the nerves that go out of the neck, they come into the face and into the hands. The nerves that come out of the upper back will go to the lungs and the heart. The mid-back goes to your digestive nerves. The lower back goes to your reproductive organs, your urinary system, your excretory system. And we're hooked up. We're electricity. We're the same as electricity, and electricity has to flow. I don't invent your electricity, but I'm like an electrician, okay, to see where's your power out? How can I help you by having things flow? So we need the nerves to flow in order for them to communicate, with a strong force. Because right now they're communicating. But you know, most of us are only using one third of our brain energy potential in our heads. So we could just connect you today. Okay, you're going to be a stronger and healthy healer for anything that could possibly go on in the body. The On the right side of the chart is the vagus nerve. And if you don't learn anything from me today, then I want you to look up the vagus. VAGUS. People think it's Vegas. Microsoft's going to tell you spell it wrong. They're wrong. It's VAGUS, vagus nerve. It's a cranial nerve, the longest cranial nerve that we have. It's called the wanderer, okay, because it goes far. Comes out of the brain area and travels down in front of the throat. It then goes through the clavicle bone, feeds all the organs, and has communication from the brain to all the organs in the top, important organs like your heart and like your lungs. And then it goes down and pierces the diaphragm and then feeds the rest of the organs on the bottom. It is the most holistic nerve in the body to check out and to take care of and to honor. We have to wake up. Everyone's looking everywhere else, you know, to a different healer, to a different pill, to a different diet. And what you're in control over is your nervous system. So all the thoughts that you think, the postures that you keep, okay, and the food that you eat holistically comes together and either empowers you or disempowers you. So your thought choices, are they healing or are they hurting? Is the diet toxic or not? But if the thoughts are toxic, what happens is the best diets fail because it's really not about the food. It's what your body does with the food that matters. The vagus nerve gives communication from this system to the brain. Unfortunately, our society is under tremendous attack of stress. The title of this talk is The Hidden Causes of Inflammation, because inside you is what people are not talking about it. They're talking about it like it's a new diagnosis. I've been a doctor for 40 years. Inflammation, they used to give out anti-inflammatory pills. No, it wasn't a swing fad word or swing fad diagnosis. It's something that happens in the body. Chronic inflammation is something to be looked at. It's not natural, and it comes from many different causes, but it comes from us. Who are you inflamed at? What are you inflamed with is some of the things we're going to briefly discuss right now. Do you see yourself on any of those pictures here? Because we talked about chemical stress. How about the lady with the pasta? That was me. By the way, I was 75 pounds heavier for most of my life. And if we get a chance, I'll talk about that as well. But the guilt and the stuffing of food. I come from bulimics, anorexic. My whole family line is heavy. But I was an overstuffer like that lady. Okay, so if you're emotionally upset and you eat, you will not digest your food. If you've been pinching the nerves of your stomach by poor habits with technology, you won't have the right nerve supply to your stomach. I feel like the guy in the middle a lot, the guy who is constantly putting stress from the computer on. So we are in an age of major stress. Anger. Acid. It turns the blood acid. So you want to heal inflammation? One of the hidden causes is too much anger that you're not feeling, expressing, honoring, or flowing with. Back to flow. We have emotions, we're feeling beings. So it's okay to feel your anger. It's important to honor all of your feelings, but also to flow with your feelings. I haven't taken the hammer yet to that computer, but sometimes I get close. Now, how about the woman on the right? She's taking a computer break. She is starting to breathe. How long do you think her computer break is when she's on a deadline? Okay, so we have millions of people doing yoga. And what they're learning is to meditate and breathe. And it's excellent. I'm not knocking it, but I would like you to be your own yoga master, your own chi master all the time. How do you take your yoga or what you're addicted to in yoga, which is relaxation, concentration on your spine, and bring it into your day? I hope this woman picks up her laptop, because as soon as she goes back to work, she's going to pinch the vagus nerve. the vagus nerve, and that's just some more graphics of how it gives feedback. So yes, I have seen thousands of patients with inflamed colons, colitis, and all the problems. If people don't pay attention to the vagus nerve, the cranial nerves, the spinal cord, and all the time, I'm talking consciously taking care of yourself. I am a flow addict. I'm addicted to my central nervous system flow, and I'm addicted to oxygen and breathing. So I am a dancing spinal breath master and a self-empowerment coach who helps people to breathe and find out where is the pleasurable breath posture. Let me say that again. Pleasurable breath posture. The driving force for me to come out of my office and to teach the world the truth has to do with the children and cell phones. Because this thing here, our teenagers, our youngsters, the 20-year-olds and 30 years old have been brought up with this. I wasn't. I had the other stresses that they have too, but now there's an added stress. I'm not going to talk about the things that come out of the phone or anything else, but right now you're watching me on the phone, so this is actually perfect. Because I want you to know that this is not heavy, okay? It's not like I'm telling you to pick up a 300-pound weight so that you can get it up to eye level so that your vagus nerve can communicate with the cell. The side X-ray on the left shows a normal curve in the neck. Inflammation of the neck and the nerve to the neck, which control the entire body, are being stopped by this cell phone. It also happens with laptops. We look down, stopping the cervical curve, very easy. Pick them up, get your shoulders back down in alignment so you don't have this forward neck is what's going on with that picture. We're going to check out a video. It's a healthy rap song. And these rappers came into one of my classes and they wrote this beautiful song trying to teach young people because toddlers are on phones. Everyone's on the phone and their head is down. So let's see what the rappers have to say.
I'm looking up, no looking down. Hold up my head, turn my life around. Look at me now, look at me now. Pick up my head, turn my life around. I'm looking at the sky, so I'm looking up. Caught a shooting star and I'm feeling lucky. Every single time that I look up, I start feeling lucky.
I'm looking up, no looking down. Get better every day, trying not to frown. Looking up is the movement, so keep your head up and move it to the beat. Pay attention, please. If you keep your head down, it'll hurt your neck and you can't breathe. I need some air, so my head's up here. And my back is straight, and my posture's good, and my mind is clear. I'm meditating with all this information. Now look up, no more looking down, start elevating.
I'm looking up, no looking down. Hold up my head, turn my life around. Look at me now, look at me now. Pick up my head, turn my life around. I'm looking at the sky, so I'm looking up. Caught a shooting star and I'm feeling lucky. Every single time that I look up, I start feeling lucky. I'm looking up, no looking down. Hold up my head, turn my life around. Look at me now, look at me now. Pick up my head, turn my life around. I'm looking at the sky, so I'm looking up. Caught a shooting star and I'm feeling lucky. Every single time that I look up, I start feeling lucky.
When my head is up, I feel powerful. When my head is down, I feel out of it. This usually happens when I'm on the phone and I hold it low, I'm not proud of it. When I hold it high, I feel so refined and my thoughts flow, they might blow your mind. So don't be thinking it's a waste of time to imitate the actions to heal your spine. Because it can really be a problem if you do not solve it quickly. I know you had a long day now and slouch is kinda tempting. That's motivation for you. So just keep looking in the sky, cause something's waiting for you, for you, for you.
I'm looking up, no looking down. Hold up my head, turn my life around. Look at me now, look at me now. Pick up my head, turn my life around. I'm looking at the sky. sky, so I'm lucky. Caught a shooting star and I'm feeling lucky. Every single time that I look, I start feeling lucky.
So I'm very thankful for that video because it's going to bring it to the youth about the breath. Because when your head is down, you really can't breathe. So if you could just push the pause button right now while you're watching on this app, I want you to take your phone and I want you to put it all the way down where it usually is and take a breath. And I'll demonstrate that right now. You could try it right now. It's physically impossible to inflate the entire lung when your head is down. And when it's down and twisted, what's happening with checking your phone one way or the one-sided text is that the vagus nerve is being compressed besides no oxygen. So when I say I'm a flow addict, I'm addicted to oxygen. So I'm going to change my posture so that my lungs can inflame. The diaphragm has to go down to get the organs out of the way, but the lungs, they open this way and they lengthen that way. Our posture right now is killing us because there's a lack of oxygen and there's a lack of nerve flow to the body. The middle picture is showing what they're doing to the vagus nerve. They are either cutting it or putting electrodes on it. I want to put the power back in your seat here. The vagus nerve is reacting right now, and it controls your levels of inflammation. It controls your hormonal reaction to stress. We are a stressed out society, and if you pinch this nerve, you will now have higher communication from the brain to the cell area. I can't say it any more forcefully than this. Please join me in this new addiction. Let's take this to the recovery centers, okay? Let's get addicted to oxygen and breathe with these things. It's not heavy. Food, water, oxygen, we knew that. Grew up with it. Food, water, oxygen, went to chiropractic school. They added nerve flow. Now we're only doing food and water? Forget about your nervous system? Forget about oxygen? I don't think so. It's not about inflammation. Inflammation is an effect. We are walking around with pinched nerves to the central nervous system. We're functioning with less oxygen and brain ability that we possibly can be. I'm not going to spend time on this. If you go to the website, you can see that I've written books for children, an empowerment fantasy novel about the cell phones, a parenting grief book, and a woman's wellness guide. And I'll close with this. You know what I used to hate about the holidays is that all of a sudden it's a time to be joyous. It's a season to be joyous. It's like, what? You know, we have that with every breath. Joy. So the message here on this photo is to not wait for the holidays, to give yourself the brain, body, mind, breath connection that empowers all the organs. Never give up on your nervous system. Never give up on increasing oxygen. Use more than 1/3 of your brain potential. And remember, it's not heavy, and it's all up to you and your choice. Thank you very much.